Welcome everyone to the Everything Show. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Chris. What's up, Chris?
What's up, guys?
Okay, so as to be expected, there are movies that delay or back out, whatever the reason, and whether it be them not wanting to get destroyed by like massive movies like Avengers: Infinity War, or there's too many movies out. Maybe there's reshoots. Maybe something's wrong with the movie. Maybe it's just placement. Who knows? We've heard about New Mutants being delayed almost a year, them making it more horror than anything else already than what it is. We've heard that Slender Man has been delayed from its placement. What's up, Sally?
What's up?
So now it looks like Predator is another one of those movies that so they're going to go some reshoots. And again, it could be a regular thing, but it's been delayed for the second time. Now it's not coming out in its second date in August. It's coming out in September. And I'm wondering if, like, what the reason behind this is. Or, I mean, we do know that it's going to be canon to, I guess, Predator 1 and 2. One of the characters is Gary Busey's son, which is going to be the character of Gary Busey in the second one's actual son, and, this continuity, whatever. We do know there's some comedy actors and there's some kids in this. What do you think, Chris, is going on here? I mean, do you think that where's this movie going to be?
I don't know why it was delayed, so I'm not going to really speculate on that.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't delayed too far, so to me that doesn't scream like major problem with the movie. That just maybe they needed some extra time,
Right.
Or maybe they figured that there was a better release date.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know. However, I read the rumored plot leak for this movie, and I'm telling you, I'm not planning on seeing this. It doesn't sound good, and
No.
I'm really not that interested in another Predator movie. I guess I'll wait for the first trailer to really decide, but it didn't sound that great to me when I read this plot leak. If it was indeed true, it just didn't sound like something that I would be interested in. I was kind of hoping that we would have maybe gotten a sequel or something connected to Predators because I liked that one.
Right.
But I got to tell you, I just don't have any interest in this movie. It just doesn't. This plot that I've heard, if it's true, just doesn't appeal to me.
I mean, is a plot we went over with already?
Yeah.
I mean,
it
you want to
like
quickly
with the mental
rehash
patients or something, and like they talk. I don't remember it completely, but it just didn't sound that interesting.
Yeah. What about you, Sally? Are you looking forward to Predator, or not really?
I mean, I'm not a big fan. I mean, I think I've seen the first one. I mean, it was good, but it's just not for me.
You won't get to the chopper with this one.
No,
not so much. Okay, that's one thing. Another thing is there is a rumor that Woody Harrelson is going to appear at the end of the Venom movie in prison as Cletus Cassidy and bond with the Carnage symbiote. Now, at first, we heard that Carnage was going to be in this movie full-fledged, and then I'm like leery of it because I'm like to Chris, like we're all to each other. Like, I mean, how could this happen if they didn't even establish Venom? Now you're going to establish Carnage. We don't really know if that's the case, but if Woody Harrelson is going to be Carnage, what do you think about that? And I'll go with Sally first this time.
I don't know. I think it might be a good idea. I mean,
he's a good actor.
He's a good actor.
But could he act like crazy and comical? And I guess he can. He was in that other movie. What the hell was it called? Jesus. Yeah. How can I say that? Of course he could do a great job. What about you, Chris?
Could he play that part? Yeah, I definitely think he could. I could imagine him, growing his hair out and dyeing it red and, just maybe cutting some weight to be kind of skinny. Like, I remember Cletus Cassidy being, kind of like, Cletus Cassidy wasn't like a built guy like Eddie Brock. I almost said Brock Lesnar there, just so you know, but Eddie Brock. But
he was skinny and he was like
I
nuts.
can see him. Yeah, he's kind of like that creepy guy that kind of hangs out in the corner, and then you're like, where'd he go?
Supposedly in the Marvel universe, he was like a huge serial killer,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like Charles Manson, but like
Yeah.
famous killer Cletus Cassidy. They made him
Yeah.
out to be. So before this, he's a mass murderer, and
that's what makes Carnage so effective with that symbiote. Now, my thing is, though, if he appears at the end of this movie, this, to me, is like, that's assuming there's going to be a sequel. And so far, the reaction around this movie has been negative.
right.
And I heard another rumor today that they were potentially talking about, again, selling the Sony movie division off.
Right.
Now, my thing is this. If that Sony movie division goes on sale, like for sale, I should say,
Yeah.
Disney's probably going to snatch it up the next day.
I would,
Too.
yeah.
So if they do that, in my mind, they would probably say, yeah, that Venom movie sucked. It's not part of anything we're doing. We're going to redo the character completely.
Yeah, technically, if they bought it tomorrow, they can cancel whatever's coming out.
Not this, because this is already set and everything.
Okay.
But I could see them either doing like a soft reboot with it, where they keep Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock with Venom, and they do their own thing with it, or
Right.
They could potentially just be like, we're doing our own for Homecoming. Now, again, that's assuming that they bought the Sony movie division. My thing is, if they don't, let's say that doesn't happen, which it probably won't just yet. If this Venom movie sucks, we're not going to see Carnage because there's not going to be a sequel.
Right.
So, I mean, or at least I don't think. You know, stranger things have happened where movies have sucked and yet somehow they get sequels. So, I mean, you know, anything's possible. But I kind of want to see Carnage in this movie just because I'm not really interested in seeing Venom versus the government.
Right.
So, but, you know, I don't know. You know, we got to wait and see.
I heard this rumor today that when they did Venom, they always envisioned it as a trilogy, and that the plan was supposedly, and this is a rumor, that Carnage would appear at the end of this movie, and then it would be a big deal for him to fight Carnage in the next movie. And then when he thinks like he defeats Carnage and everything's going right in his life, he finds out that that organization cloned or duplicated the symbiotes, and he has to fight in the third movie all those symbiotes for like that.
Yeah.
Now again, I don't know if that's true, but if you think about it, what else could Venom do other than those main things? Because it's not like they gave Venom these major things that happened in the past. I mean, yes, he was popular in the Spider-Man comics. Yes, he got a comic here or there. It wasn't necessarily permanent comic. Now he has a permanent comic, and now they're saturating the market with Venom storylines, but big arc storylines. But the only thing they really could do is Carnage and then all those other symbiotes. I mean, I would think, unless they do the Bride of, like when the symbiote bonded with his ex-wife, and they do something with that. I don't know.
Well, remember that was rumored. I mean, I don't know if it was just because their characters in the movie, but that was rumored, which to me would be really kind of strange. I mean, it could work, but
when it did mix with her was only very temporary. It didn't stay.
Yeah.
Like she didn't bond with it, But
I just want to know what direction this movie is going in. Like, I really just I can't really get a lot of it from that teaser, even though
but
I
you
liked
the teaser. Both of you guys liked the teaser, though.
Yeah. I can't really get like the tone of what where is this going? Is this going to be like scary, like monster Venom, or is this going to be like Agent Venom?
I thought it was going to be like, I'm going to eat your brains, crazy Venom.
I hope so.
I mean, that's the way they're showing the thing, like with the classic way he looks.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, he looks terrible. I mean, I guess he has to make him look terrible as Eddie Brock, compared to what we used to see him in movies.
Well,
he looks like.
You know what? My thing is this: like,
are they giving him cancer in this right away? Is that
no?
why
I don't think so. I think he's in that MRI thing to show that the symbiote's bonded to him.
Okay, because I was wondering if they were going to do that, and then that's why the symbiote bonded
I thought
with him.
so too, because I was thinking, oh, this is the ultimate Venom. But then, if you notice, at least I think, I'm pretty sure anyway, when he's laying down at the beginning of the trailer, it's the same thing, and he's laying down at the end, and you see the Venom symbiote come up his neck.
Mm-hmm.
But I had this idea, and I really hope they don't do this because I could easily see them do it.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, and this is just me, I have no evidence to back this up, but what if when he first uses the symbiote fully, like throughout the movie, he looks like the scary, monster Venom, like the Venom we're all used to. And then at the end, when he kind of makes peace with being bonded to this thing to kind of symbolize that he's not a monster, it turns into the Agent Venom suit so that it looks more human-ish.
So it won't be that the symbiote likes the way Spider-Man looks, because that's why Tom Holland's in it, and it just says, oh, okay, I'm going to look like that.
So this is my thing. I don't think Spider-Man is involved in this at all.
Not even Tom Holland.
I don't think I think what they're going to do is they're going to say that Venom is not really crawling up the wall like Spider-Man. He's digging his fists into the wall and clawing his way up. He's not really shooting webs. He's shooting parts of the symbiote if he swings. His strength is just because the symbiote enhances strength, speed, reflexes, senses, whatever. I don't think he has enhanced spider powers like we're used to.
They should just, not for nothing, if you're having Tom Holland in the movie, that means you could use him. They should just have the symbiote go to him first and have him in the movie, like maybe, a half hour or whatever, and then him reject the symbiote, and then it goes to him.
Well, the issue with that is then that would be so rushed that it would
I know, but
it would take them out of the movie almost. Like, but my thing is just I can see them like having him be like the monster original Venom, and then at the end when he makes peace with the symbiote or he accepts that he's a part of this other entity now that is Venom, it kind of just molds into the Agent Venom suit,
right?
To kind of be like he's not a monster. I mean I can just see that happening, and I really don't want it to, because nothing against Agent Venom,
right?
But I think it would be interesting to kind of have like an unsettling hero like Venom in this movie, where he's not really a hero, but he's not a villain. He's like an anti-hero.
But what is his threat, though, that he deals with in this movie?
I'm assuming it's going to be either another symbiote or it's going to be like a government entity that he fights to prevent them from getting the symbiote, which, of course, we know he's most likely going to fail because they're probably going to clone it into, who knows what, Carnage.
Could they do a thing where, and again, I'm thinking long term, could they do a thing where he has the Venom symbiote, he wants to start a new life for himself, he gets a job with the Daily Bugle, and then they could always tie that in with the Spider-Man movie where Peter Parker gets him fired for falsifying a story, and that's why he hates Spider-Man?
They could do that, but my thing is, like, that would probably ruin whatever arc they're going to do for Eddie Brock in this movie.
They really want to build him up as an anti-hero or whatever.
Yeah, so I personally think that if this is connected to the MCU, which right now it looks like it probably is,
well, yeah.
Somewhat. If the Tom Holland stuff is true,
I'm thinking of it like a Cloverfield paradox timeline too with Tom Holland. And, yeah, I know what it is.
They could explain it like that, honestly, but I really think it's gonna die. Like if it's connected to the MCU and they have any plan on eventually making this connect with Homecoming or whatever, I really think that this version of the story is going to diverge greatly from the comics and everything. Like, I think him and Venom are going to be enemies at first, but it's not going to be for the reasons like Spider-Man rejected the symbiote, Brock hates Peter Parker. I think it's just going to be something strange, like they both happen to be in the same place and they perceive each other as a threat, and then they're off. I mean, which would be, if they're going to do that, how are they going to explain that he's invisible to the spider sense?
Yeah, he can't. Spider-Man should kick his ass because he shouldn't.
And that really removes the whole point of their rivalry.
It's true. I have to bring out a point. The funny thing is, when they did this storyline back in the day in the comics, and they tried to push Ben Reilly on us, and he was the Scarlet Spider, and they were doing these things with him to try to say, hey, he's really Peter Parker. Right away, he fought Venom. And the spider sense worked. And he's like holding his own because it works, And not only did he do that, but he advanced the webbing and he shot a web ball in Venom's mouth that totally broke the bond, almost killed Eddie Brock. And they have at the end of the comic Eddie Brock in his underwear, and the Venom symbiote on the separated, and they did these things to try to say, hey, maybe he's the real Spider-Man, But with the spider sense, he could kick Venom's ass. Now, what happened eventually was Carnage tried to bond with Ben Reilly, and because of that, was able to, I guess, block the spider sense. Because once you know what I'm saying? Once you're bonded with it a little bit or something. So then I guess the spider sense didn't work then. But it's Spider-Man without the spider sense, why it was challenging. Because he could get defeated by Venom,
Well, here's my thing. I don't understand the why of this movie. Why do this? Because unless you're a big comic book fan, they're going to have a lot of explaining to do so the average moviegoer will understand what's going on. Plus, you have to introduce Venom. You got to introduce Carnage. You got to explain to them that Spider-Man is not here for some reason. It's just, I don't understand it. I like it so far, what I've seen, but
the easiest way to explain it is that Sony movies have been tanking lately. They kind of have this relationship where they let them borrow Spider-Man. But in the weird thing is they didn't let them have all the Spider-Man villains that they have the rights to in different things. So they're like, we could kind of do our own thing and Marvel really can't stop us, and we're going to bounce off the popularity of having this connection with this, and we're going to do a Venom movie, we're going to do a Black Cat movie, and some Sable, we're going to do Kraven the Hunter, Mysterio, everybody and their mother without Spider-Man appearing, just to try to bounce our company back and have our own cinematic universe. And that's what they tried to do, and there was some type of anger, fight, because Marvel was kind of pissed about it. So Marvel and Marvel Disney, but the thing is, if Marvel Disney want to continue to use Spider-Man, they have to give a little and say, oh, that's great. Yeah, it's part of the MCU. Yeah, sure it is. But it's not. But the thing is that they don't want to have a thing where they're ruining the relationship with Sony where they can't re-sign and have Spider-Man beyond Spider-Man Homecoming 2 and Spider-Man Homecoming 3. They kind of want to do more movies with them. They want to have him in Avengers. I mean, if they're not going to have Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, right, Chris? And they're going to make Spider-Man a big part of Avengers 4, then obviously they need to have him signed for a little bit. I mean, am I wrong, Chris?
No, you're right. And a friend of mine, we were talking about this, and he put it a really good way. He was like, so imagine, after Avengers 3 and 4, we're probably not going to get any more Captain America solo movies for a little while anyway.
I'm sorry, I mean, Avengers 5 would be Spider-Man. Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm talking Captain America.
Yeah.
Like after 4, Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor. Well, Thor will probably get another movie because Ragnarok did well. But
yes,
Iron Man and Captain America, I don't think are going to be the main heroes anymore. I think they're going to try to push Spider-Man into that spot.
Yeah.
To try him and Doctor Strange, around there, to try and get them, to be the forefront of and Captain Marvel, try to get them to be the forefront of the MCU going forward after whatever Avengers 4 is.
Right.
Now, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, they'll still appear, obviously. But if in any way the deal with Sony falls apart and they don't get access to Spider-Man from point, Homecoming 3 on, all those plans go away.
Right.
So it's a problem too, because Spider-Man is the big hero of Marvel.
Yes.
You know, so I mean, you want Spider-Man in this stuff, because if he's not there, you don't have a complete Marvel universe.
And Marvel is like, yeah, you want to make a Venom piece of shit movie? Yes, okay, absolutely. Are you gonna sign the deal, right? Spider-Man and Avengers 5, 6, and 7, and 4 more Spider-Man movies. Yeah, just make sure you sign it, please. Date it. That's basically the situation. They don't care. They care, but they don't care, because the ultimate goal is having Spider-Man in more movies.
Which is why I honestly think we're gonna start to see some repeat villains in these Spider-Man movies. Like, we're gonna see a redone Doc Ock. We're gonna see a redone Green Goblin. We might see
Norman
the
Osborn. They're gonna try to build and put him into Avengers.
I think they're, because if Sony's like, we're making all these movies with these villains, yeah, Spider-Man has a huge gallery of villains, but you have to pick the villains that are going to resonate well with the crowd that doesn't read comic books.
Right.
And a lot of his villains don't do that.
And Norman Osborn, they basically built him up to really screw with the Avengers in a big way. So Marvel would be like, yeah, we want Norman Osborn also. You know,
he's probably the one who bought the Avengers Tower. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's probably Norman Osborn, and that's going to be the Oscorp Tower.
So they sold the tower?
Why they did.
Why did he sell it?
They said in one of the movies, I think it was in Homecoming, the reason they were moving all the stuff out was because somebody bought the building.
But Tony Stark probably wanted attention away from the city so it wouldn't get wrecked, right? That's why they went like an isolated area or something.
Well, they went to the headquarters that they have now.
But a spacious thing away from people, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
But somebody bought the tower. The Avengers Tower was bought by somebody.
But wouldn't that be the Baxter Building?
No, because Kevin Feige came out, or not Kevin Feige, I'm sorry. Bob Iger came out and he was like, we have no plans for any of these characters right now.
Right. Okay.
No X-Men, no Fantastic Four, nothing.
Right. Okay.
So I'm thinking it was probably Norman Osborn.
Norman Osborn.
And that's going to be the Oscorp Tower. And that will probably show up in Homecoming 2. I don't know for sure, but that just makes sense to me.
He would be the villain, but again, don't do the Gwen Stacy death thing again.
I mean, we know she's going to be in it.
But they can't just bring her in and kill her like right away.
I doubt that that's even going to happen.
Yeah, she might not even die.
That whole storyline. I don't even think that's going to be a thing.
Yeah. And supposedly Black Cat's going to show up in Homecoming 2, supposedly.
That's going to be kind of strange, too, because...
Maybe Sony said, look, put her in there and we'll consider giving you more Spidey. Could be.
It's possible.
Or maybe they had a thing where said, Disney, you pick who Black Cat's going to be at least. I mean, that would be fair, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what kind of deal they have. I mean, it's so difficult because if Sony sells it tomorrow, then they really don't care about the deal, and they'll be like, all right, we're buying it. You know, it's like, but of course, they're not just getting Spider-Man. The big thing that they're getting, besides all the characters of Spider-Man related, they're getting Ghostbusters, and that's a huge thing.
Well, you know what would be like a real, like, you know, what would be a real, like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen now moment? Is if Sony, you know, hypothetically, Sony puts their movie division up for sale, and Disney doesn't get it, and somebody else gets it.
Like Fox.
Well, I mean, who knows?
Well, why would Fox do that if they're selling?
I don't think Fox would get. I'm talking like friggin' Comcast or something.
Oh crap!
It's like, oh, hey, thanks. Then what happens?
Well, supposedly, the original contract is that Sony could have the rights to Spider-Man, but they can't give it to anybody. Like, anytime Marvel gave the rights to any movie company, they have it, but they can't give it. They don't own it like that, where they can give it to anybody. So it would retain with Marvel anyway.
Well, we don't know that, though. If the whole division goes up for sale, then that's technically not them giving anything away.
But they can't. But that company can't use the Spider-Man, period.
Well, again, they may not be able to use it, but if they have the rights to it, they could.
I don't know if they would have the rights to it.
You know?
I really don't think that's the way it worked, because I think Marvel was pretty specific when they did it. I mean, I read that article.
It all depends on how that would go, but I mean, if if another company swooped in and bought it, that would be a problem.
I
that they
pretty
would have
much
to iron
think
out.
that Disney's getting 20th Century.
Oh no,
Now,
no, no! I know that. I'm
but
not
as far
talking
as
about that.
Sony, I think Marvel. I think they're going to get Sony too.
I think eventually they are. Yeah, I think it's
But
going
I
to be the
don't
next
think
big
that Sony's
acquisition.
really good. Here's the thing: there's been some clunkers with Sony, but then there hasn't been clunkers. Like Jumanji made them a lot of money,
Right.
and they're going to do another Jumanji.
Right.
So they're like, okay, this is working for us. We're going to do new Men in Black. Maybe this will work for us. They may have a wait and see attitude to see what these new movies do.
Oh yeah.
And that might change the whole status of Sony.
Yeah, I think that's probably what they're doing, or pretty close to what they're
doing right now. So I mean, I you know, they obviously they know what they're doing with Jumanji. They got a new franchise. They're happy about that. They want to get a great cast because they want Men in Black to continue, but they know that they can't continue with, you know, Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith because they want to do other things, supposedly. So they want to have a new, you know, other members, which I'm fine with because I do like the Men in Black films and I do want to see other teams, you know. But we'll see. But I think Sony to run away sell. I don't know why they would do that because they just purchased. They're supposed to be doing a whole cinematic universe for the Valiant comics, and that's supposed to be expanded over like 5 or 7 years. So why would you do that? And then all of a sudden, now you're not going to have a movie division, you know? You guys hear me?
I mean, it really all depends on what happens at the box office, you know? I mean, they can make all the plans they want, and then all of a sudden, if 3 and 4 movies start not working, it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah. All right. I guess that's it for the Everything Show. Thank you, Sally. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye for now.